Hey guys, Todd here. Today we're going to install the Revolver X4s on this 2022 Nissan Frontier. For this installation, I'll be using a squeeze clamp and a ratchet along with two sockets, a 1/2 inch and a 9/16. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first step is to install this bulkhead seal. Obviously, we've already got this one on here. It was on there for a backflip installation. It's the exact same seal, so we're going to use it. Just keep in mind it goes all the way from one bed cap to the other. Also, make sure you wipe down the bulkhead with isopropyl alcohol before you apply the bulkhead seal and cut it into place. Next, let's go ahead and attach one of those rails. Okay, we're going to start on the passenger side. This is our passenger side rail. If you notice, we've got this aluminum tab that's hanging off the side that's got the two long slots in it. That is going to go towards the cab of the truck, and that aluminum cab is going to face to the inside of the bed. We've also got kind of a shelf on the edge here that's going to hang on top of our bed cap. So what we're going to do is just kind of lift it up to the bed cap, kind of rotate it down where it hangs on the bed cap, and then we're going to slide this all the way forward to where this rubber pad touches the bulkhead. Once that's in place, we're just going to hold it temporarily, take a squeeze clamp, and hold that in place while we attach our clamps. Okay, now the first two clamps we're going to install are going to look like this one right here. Now, one thing I want to point out is you've got some grooves on the inside of the clamp. They're going to match up to some grooves on our rail. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide that up into place and over top of our Utilitrack. And this is going to be about 6 inches away from our bulkhead. Now what we're going to do is we're going to raise that clamp up as high as we can to get engagement into the rail, and then kind of squeeze it together and tighten it down by hand. Then we're going to take a 9/16 wrench or ratchet and go ahead and get it kind of snug. And then we're going to pop the top of it to seat the seal on the top, and then finish tightening it down. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and install our clamp strap. What we're going to do is spread that apart, slide that up into the bed cap, get it as close to our front clamp as possible, and go ahead and tighten it down using, again, a 9/16 wrench or ratchet. All right, if we come back from the bulkhead about 34 inches and reach up into the bed cap, we'll find there's a little slot on the inside of the bed cap. That's where we need to insert the back side of our clamp. Now the front side of our clamp, we want to make sure we get about 2 teeth of engagement into the rail, and getting up into that slot is going to be the way we're going to be able to do that. So once we get that in place, we're going to go ahead and tighten that down by hand. We're going to snug it a little bit with a 9/16, then seat it from the top and continue to tighten it down to 10 foot-pounds. All right, now we're going to go ahead and go all the way back to the very end of the rail on the bed cap, and we're going to use our different style of clamp. Now there's 2 locations that we can lock this clamp in. We're going to choose the higher location. That puts this further up. What we're going to do is spread that apart. Again, we want to have 2 teeth engagement, at least 2 teeth engagement up into the rail. So we're going to spread that apart, slide that up into place, get the engagement on the rail, and then as we're holding that together, go ahead and tighten it down by hand. And then we're going to take now a 1/2 inch wrench or ratchet and get that snugged, then seat the rail at the top and finish tightening it down to 10 foot-pounds. All right, now we're going to repeat the same process on the other side, and if on the other side you have the bed assist grip, that will need to come out first. Okay, so when the cover comes out of the box, it's going to be reverse rolled, so we're going to go ahead and set it on top of the rails and start rolling it towards the cab of the truck. As we roll it towards the cab, we also want to kind of roll it up as we follow it. And once we get all the way up to the front, we're going to notice we've got a couple of tracks that run side to side in the header rail. What we're going to do is take a couple of bolts on each side from our kit, slide one into each one of these rails on each side of the cover. So 2 over here and 2 over here. All right, what we're going to do is make sure they're lined up to the holes in the slots. and rock them forward. Now we can go underneath and attach our hardware. Okay, now here are the two screws that we just rotated down to go through those slots. In our kit, we're also going to have a rubber washer, flat washer, and a star knob that are going to go over each one of these screws in that order. So rubber washer first, then the flat washer, and then we've got the star knob. Now, once you get the star knob about here, it's not tight yet, but you're going to start feeling some resistance. It's because there's a nylock nut inside that star knob that's going to give you resistance. It keeps it from vibrating loose. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it not quite to where it's snug, just to where it's kind of close enough to where we can still adjust the cover. We're going to do that on both bolts and on both sides. Now we're going to go ahead and roll the cover back to the tailgate, make sure everything lines up properly and it fully engages. Then we're going to very gently roll the cover back up to the front, making sure not to mess up our alignment of our cover, and then go ahead and finish tightening down the star knobs all the way. Okay, now if this roll stays nice and tight, it will actually never contact the cab. However, if that roll loosens up a little bit, then it can actually roll forward and contact the cab. So I went ahead and wiped down these two locations right here with some rubbing alcohol, and we're going to apply some rubber bumpers to those two locations on each side. So we're just going to take the bumpers, peel the 3M tape off of them, put it right in the gap. And repeat the same on the opposite side. There we go. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.